Welcome back to Daily ACIM, a deep dive into A Course in Miracles. Today, we're exploring Lesson 154.
Right. And before we jump into this one, it's probably helpful to just quickly touch on lesson 153.
Good idea.
That was all about, God's spirit being our constant sustenance, that feeling of being supported.
That divine support system.
Exactly. And that really, I think, paves the way for today's idea, which is quite a big one. I am among the ministers of God.
Okay, yeah, that's a shift, isn't it? From being sustained to, well, actively being something.
Uh,
A minister. When
okay.
you hear ministers of God, I imagine for a lot of people it brings up, formal religious figures, pulpits, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. That's the common association.
But the Course seems to be aiming for something much broader,
Right.
more universal.
Totally. This isn't about ordination or a specific job. Lesson 154 is really uncovering something inherent in all of us.
Okay.
Being a minister of God, in the Course's view, it's fundamentally about being a conduit, extending love, extending light.
So, like, our basic function almost.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. It's recognizing that just our presence, how we show up in the world, can actually be a source of healing or positivity for the people around us.
It's almost like when we're aligned, when we're not bogged down by fear or judgment, we naturally radiate something helpful, like a quiet sense of peace or understanding.
That's a really nice way to put it. Think about times you felt truly gotten by someone.
hmm
That feeling of connection, being really heard, that's often someone in that moment acting as a minister of God, whether they'd call it that or not.
Ah, okay.
It just highlights that core ACM teaching about how deeply interconnected we all are. Our internal world really does ripple outwards.
That interconnectedness feels huge here.
Yeah.
It sounds like the lesson is trying to pull us out of seeing ourselves as these separate little units.
Right, isolated.
Yeah, isolated,
Right.
and instead see ourselves as, well, vital parts of this bigger picture, this shared reality.
Precisely. It's a fundamental shift in self-perception that the lesson is inviting us into.
From separate and maybe vulnerable.
Uh-huh. Towards understanding ourselves as integral, contributing parts of this larger whole. And within that whole, within that connection, we each have this amazing potential to be messengers of peace, of the love that the Course says is underpinning everything.
Okay, so if we accept this,
Hmm.
this inherent capacity, this potential to share love and understanding, how does that actually look day to day, practically?
Well, there are many ways, often quite simple ones. Think about how you listen.
Listening.
Yeah, when someone's sharing something important, are you really there, offering full attention without jumping to judge or fix?
That can be harder than it sounds.
It can, but that act of deep, compassionate listening, that's a powerful way to minister. Just being willing to truly hear someone can be incredibly healing for them.
But it's not just listening, is it? Actions must play a part too.
Oh, absolutely. Small actions count. Offering a hand, a genuine word of encouragement, even just a warm smile to a stranger sometimes.
The little things.
Exactly. They seem small, but they carry weight. They're like love made tangible, right? Channeling that inner capacity into real world connection and support.
What about when things are tough, though? When we're stressed or upset ourselves, it feels much harder to step into that minister role then.
That's a very real point, and it's important. The lesson isn't asking for perfection. It encourages us to approach even those difficult situations with the intention of being a source of peace.
Intention.
It
Okay.
doesn't mean ignoring our own feelings, not at all. But it's about choosing to respond as best we can with understanding and compassion for ourselves too, by the way, not just the other person.
So it's like aiming the compass needle towards peace, even if the boat's rocking a bit.
That's a great analogy, yeah. It's about aligning our thoughts, our actions with that underlying intention to serve the highest good, even when we're personally struggling.
So not about achieving perfect calm 24/7, but about the direction we're facing.
Precisely. And to help cultivate that intention, the Course gives us practical things to do, like a simple daily practice.
Like what?
Maybe just taking a few quiet moments. Find a calm spot, breathe, and just focus on that affirmation. I am among the ministers of God.
Just hold that thought.
Yeah, and then maybe visualize one small concrete way you could extend kindness or understanding to someone you expect to interact with today. Doesn't have to be heroic.
Like being patient in traffic or really thanking the checkout person.
Exactly. A moment of patience, a sincere compliment, holding a door with a smile, tiny expressions of that role.
It feels doable. Just bringing conscious awareness to how we interact and remembering we can be helpful and kind.
And that awareness is really the key, isn't it? It's about consciously choosing to align with a truth that's already inside us, recognizing the quiet power of our presence and our actions to bring a little more light into the day.
So as you, listening right now, go about your day, maybe try taking that moment for quiet reflection. Focus on that idea. I am among the ministers of God. Picture one small way you can share kindness or understanding. And maybe reflect on this question the lesson brings up. How can you more fully embrace your role as a minister of God in your everyday interactions?
And what steps, even tiny ones, can you take to make sure your actions reflect that truth?
It's an ongoing practice, I suppose, remembering who we really are.
Definitely. Allowing that truth to guide us moment by moment.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Lesson 154.
Thank you.
Please do like, share, and subscribe if you found this helpful. We'll see you tomorrow for the next lesson.